Hello, here is a wrap-up, a combination wrap-up and review of Wildfire by Ilona Andrews. It's number 3 in the Hidden Legacy urban fantasy series. These first 3 books have starred Nevada Baylor, who is a truth seeker. Basically, she can her power, she can, with her mind, she can tell if someone's lying or not. She can basically force them to answer her questions. I guess as we find out, she is actually an incredibly powerful truth seeker, like prime level in this society. The highest level of magic people are primes, who are basically just sort of another level of kind of power structure over this society, where a virus was a serum was created, which either created or awoke in certain people the powers that they now have, telekinetic, either over matter, over mind, whether they can summon creatures into this world or not, whether they can grow things really quickly, and control them, whether they can become familiars with animals and use them as their thing, like almost like a Pied Piper of Hamelin kind of thing, where you can control creatures and get them to do your bidding that way. And then we have the fan going on behind me, so let me go over here. So yes, and in this world, there is conspiracy, because while it is still a democracy in this United States, this is set in Houston, there is a hidden cabal who is trying to put an unnamed person basically as the magic dictator of this world, and who's called Caesar, but we don't know anything about him, what his actual real name is. We just know that there's a hidden cabal of people who are like, they want to overthrow the mundanes, or whatever. I don't think they actually call them anything other than just regular human beings. And that's being the underlying plot for all 3 of these books. Nevada finds out actually her own, what she finds out that she and her 3 sisters in this book, this is what she finds out, that the hidden legacy actually refers to them and is connected to what her paternal grandmother, Victoria Tremaine, has been planning for them. This is all in the context of her running a detective agency, where she is the head of this detective agency, her father having died of cancer several years ago, and her having to kind of step up and take control as the most powerful magic person in this family. She's got these are urban fantasy books, so that they are basically kind of romance books, and you can kind of tell that over the course of this books, it's all about her relationship with Mad Dog Rogan, a super ultra powerful, wealthy billionaire, head of the house Rogan. Basically all the women throw themselves at him. He is super prime alpha male, super muscular, super animalistically super raw power, making all the women just cross their legs in desire. And and basically through these 3 books, we have the romance of them. So this first 3 books does kind of encompass that, the arc of that relationship, and how you might expect it to go in a romance. I won't say anything more than that. Now, in this book, they're sort of on the case. She is on the case with her family, and Mad Dog Rogan is there to help. Connor Rogan is there to help because a prime of a family, I think he grows mushrooms and stuff like fungus, has been kidnapped, and his wife, whose mother they actually killed in the last book, because she was one of the people in this cabal of people trying to overthrow the society, employed them, because this woman kidnapped her husband. And they definitely find out that is a lot more complicated than it first appeared, and indeed it is enmeshed in the whole conspiracy, and indeed the files that they seem to be after are the files of the now dead, deceased mother of the guy who got kidnapped. And they want those files because apparently it's going to expose lots of members of that cabal. And we have lots of magic battles, and we also have lots of kind of romance between Nevada and Connor, and they're trying to figure out sort of what they're going to be, because they don't think they're going to be genetically compatible. With all these magical powers, people married basically kind of on an arranged marriage thing, which it's all about your genetic compatibility with each other and what that might produce. And basically the big goal is you want to produce more primes in your family, thus your family can continue. If you don't produce any more primes, your house falls as the old primes die, which is indeed why Nevada's grandmother is so dangerous, because she is vicious, ruthless, and will basically do anything to make sure that that Nevada and her sisters get put into the House Tremaine, basically against their will, because she's a mind controller. She can control people's mind. She can basically break them, blackmail them. It's really a really unpleasant woman, really frightening woman. So they declare as a house. They get genetic tests to make sure that they are indeed all related to each other, and other houses come sniffing by to say, oh well, we'd like to get a bit of your genes, hear about your genes, because it might make for good alliances, which is indeed what this book is all about. And Connor's like, we don't make sense that way, or at least it does. It's really a roll of much more of a risky roll of the dice. And Nevada is will have to decide whether she's going to take the genetics and power, or whether she's going to choose love in this urban fantasy romance novel. And so this is not super complex world building. It's fun world building. It definitely has its kind of its holes in it, but you accept stuff as you go along for the fun of this stuff. It's kind of hard to believe that anything like our world would still exist, if indeed gigantically powerful magic users were in it, that there'd be American democracy still. It's kind of highly doubtful. They have, Mad Dog Rogan, has been co-opted in. He spent a whole bunch of time, not a whole bunch of time, but he got trained in the army and was used for warfare, and that definitely has twisted and shaped his thing. He's basically a soldier who's never been able to come back from war, even though he's back in his hometown now. He's basically always on a kill or be killed kind of a feel, which is kind of not that bad, considering what kind of the houses basically get to have their own private warfare, and the government's like, yep, that's house business, we're not going to get involved. So the legal system isn't really step in, because they just have to end up with a whole bunch of dead cops. So they just learn to just let them do whatever they want to do. But you sort of have to think that would basically bash down most of the ideas of government. And if you had people who could kind of basically control other people, they would have taken control of government pretty soon, or just key members, and shaped laws to their own benefits. So but it's fun. It has a lot of what I would say is recognizably is kind of female fantasy of Rogan is super powerful and super hung and super really great at making Nevada feel incredibly sexy and aroused for her, and she feels safe in his arms. He would do anything for her, and he's a billionaire, so he can get her whatever she wants, even though she doesn't want anything other than him. It's kind of like it's very much it's good, healthy. Well, I don't know healthy, but it is. I can see this plugging into the drives of kind of just enjoyable, cheesy, sexy fun. So yeah, yeah. So enjoyed these first three books. I've actually started the series on number 4, which is with Catalina, and indeed I can see that with the three sisters you could, and I think this is what usually happens is you focus on one character and then you'd focus on another character, probably, and it's going to be Catalina because I know that. And then I can see that they would then do maybe a third trilogy with Arabella. Catalina, I have to say, number 4 is probably a lot weaker just because Catalina was a lot, felt a lot less. Nevada is a little bit more kind of tough as nails, a little bit more active than Catalina. Even in this book, Catalina comes across as pretty shy and mousy and uncertain, and she's not that great. Actually, Arabella, the other sister, seems to promise to probably be more of an interesting character when hopefully Alona Andrews gets to her story, because I'm assuming that each sister will get a romance story and an adventure. And indeed, by the end of these books, we still haven't really tied up the whole conspiracy thing. We caught we caught everybody at the bottom, but we didn't catch at the very tippy top. And indeed, and also, the grandmother, will continue to be an interesting factor in all these books. And it's just, this hidden legacy. It was actually probably the worst part of it, of exactly how grandmother did what she did to make sure that she got what she wanted. Was really like, oh, that is super squicky, super just violating to the people that she used. It's just like that almost veered into Octavia Butler level discomfort, though quickly veered back into kind of urban fantasy, fun, romance, and kind of kick-ass adventure kind of stuff as well. So yeah, I enjoyed Wildfire. These books are, as I said, they are popcorn entertainment. Popcorn entertainment is hard to actually do, and I have all respect to the writing team of Alona Andrews, a husband and wife team, for putting out fun, entertaining books. I might even go back and try her Magic Bites series after this, and listen to those. I've been listening to them on an audiobook, which I think is the best way for me to consume these. They're light enough that they perfectly suit audiobooks. The writing is good storytelling writing. It's nothing flowery. It's we're going to get action, we're going to get adventure, we're going to get some romance, but we're not going to, it's some of the sex scenes are kind of hilarious. I found in there, it's just funny what would turn one person on might be kind of a little bit funny for another person, and it veers into that definitely. But yeah, all good fun. All right, that is my review of Wildfire by Alona Andrews, number 4 in the Hidden Legacy series. More videos later.